Hi, my name is Victoria McCleksey, and I will be presenting on some business applications and the ethics involved with artificial embryos. So 12% of women aged 15 to 44 suffer from some sort of infertility. So that kind of establishes a great market for artificial embryonic research. So some potential consumers would be couples struggling with infertility, same-sex couples, and scientific research groups. So infertility and same-sex couples. Artificial embryos have the ability to single out certain desirable genetic traits such as eye color, hair color, height, even intelligence. The other desirable thing about artificial embryos is that they can bypass the fertilization process. They take stem cells and create viable embryos from the stem cells, which can go straight to the cell division process. They don't have to be fertilized. So couples that are struggling with infertility on the male side or same-sex couples, they don't need a sperm donor. And then there's also the potential to sell artificial embryos to couples struggling with infertility and same-sex couples, just covered. On to ethical issues. So, in cases of doubt where one has a suspicion but not certainty that one might be engendering an embryonic human, such experiments should not be continued. So that is a quote from Reverend McCleksey, neuroscientist and director of education at the National Catholic Bioethics Center in Philadelphia. One argument with stem cell research and artificial embryos is how ethical it is. So when does life begin? Some scientists believe that with artificial embryos, since they are created essentially from scratch and there is no conception, there's no fertilization, that they are scientific novelties and should be exempt from most of the code of ethics that are currently surrounding most stem cell research today. But there's also the argument that life begins at conception, which some could say that conception is the beginning of cell division, because that is when the egg is fertilized. So that raises the question of, are artificial embryos technically conceived? They go straight from building blocks into a viable embryo that has started cell division and can develop from there. So that is a question that needs to be discussed amongst society, and those questions we may never know the answer to. Which brings me to this slide. Obviously, with artificial embryos, everyone thinks of Jurassic Park. And so that brought me to think of your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should. Thank you for listening to our presentation on artificial embryo research.